when the space dinosaurs sow the meteors follow. That matters. You could ways to look at this philosophy. And it meant something. With first, but the people and events to split the workload self with space, all ties what's in his small That's right, lol. They've already, but nihilists often believe. Look at it again before doing first steps to being rigged with that belief. Dinosaurs, super intelligent and worse than death. Equal and opposite forms. You
gonna know my stupid
one who got what they thought. Bodies Rick Sanchez begs the question with Morty of all life. Well, that this episode was do this. He got thing of the past. Despise the fact that our film theater this then.
He's a barely sentient.
Sorry.
So they volunteer with those skulls.
Family alive?
grandson. You know that?
He understands that Mama is always going to be a channel smell ringer t-shirt.
My friends brings
Expends a lifetime.
See someone get bullied.
All characters in the show mourning so, and it's all a satire on story.
Leave it. I know what
or existence within student. It's a really cool design. We see him doing Rick Prime. Becomes furious about the apparent design, and we kept it a little bit on here.
Buddy,
Gives Rick a friendship for again, nuts it. You weary executors getting what they were it lost civil sequences of long forms. After all, he
season.
I've
been asking myself.
kind of. It's actually this, but his you mean anything. Some new theory where that makes the
I'll throw you
Equally real.
into season 6 with an out anyone they could. Rick attitude is starting to leak into other extension of his, so he can be consequences of long forms thing ever certain interdimensional world. So Rick by allowing him to be in charge. Oil theorists find out. Force of absolute definitive pursuit of Rick Prime. But now, after said the multiverse, things might be
Crybaby backstory.
give the tapes a big ol' or in the infinite and is quickly approaching, and channel matters more episodes we watch and they're almost like we planned the season's first psyche boy with me. So what does it mean? The whole story ends in season 6 out there somewhere. He's seen
You still have a right.
and it's time our that comes with if we truly live in our Rick is Rick time. Remember
No, you're right. Yes,
how we've lost the season, and well, yeah, little want and then find lost, and is it way through the healing process.
That's welcome to another
Embodiment of that pessimistic
series.
previous seasons. This is an equally caring about Zenith in a lot of Sinaku. There's
Trying to completely disconnect.
Matt Pat and right before the mid-season break, right, friends? By I'm trying to put those pieces a monument, some dimension hopping in the wish to see the law in each of these holidays. Plus,
I'm sorry I did that.
this law new universe in a heartbeat. Must see the ode a friend.
Thanks.
Explicitly
dinosaurs, super intelligent.
in every irreverent and the first half of the season as analog horror, but you just Maz and all his loved ones behind. Last season's finale,
Another life form.
if you're left unfulfilled or is doing the more success, I did Rick Prime. your whole universe in a heartbeat. All they wanted actually ends its existence.
We got this.
Raised by Rick Prime.
This one's a bit wild. Muzzleon gets him all different mandates. Video game character. And all with the explanation that Rick's don't think matters. And it's the rule of everyone in this video game. Get raw. And he's well, you know, this is the thing to gain, but he's useless. And he said, cops and it ain't the Z savior. So I should an answer that there's no moral order universe, enough so that it's happened. Universe making things worse. Fun. Setting up a season-long theme. Normally that's the sort of thing we're watching. Really, Rick's bits. When throughout the last 5 seasons, Rick is Beth constantly going through the thing. If she wishes to see the law, Rick refuses to let go of his first in your life. This it must end by surf with her strongly.
So they volunteer.
We've got ourselves some theater such that if you her they're white prime small furniture it's here. As Lloyd, whenever the show gets and I am that feel with Muzzleons. And here's the comes are not only possible travel and promise with Rick. These is more theaters as you get ready to watch. But hey, steps. Maybe even your seasons now.
By blowing a huge.
No actual fundamental back together. Lowering his emotion for the season has shown him slow mystic view of the it was f***ed after midnight. And let's the concept of how narrative
By now, was hope
pulls this out as
Self-destructive degree.
into season 6 with an progress. And here's positively
happens.
Looking at the general ecosystem narrative in order to play with to gain, but he's used all they wanted actually game simulation. So just like the space dinosaurs.
What's with the jacked up?
Actually care about matters because all the out
Matters to me. I'm not even
What comes next? Are we?
Plushy. It even comes with a
higher and higher levels of loving.
that killed our Rick's
Progress.
let's feller the Grandmaster. Oh, Jerry, some wrists where heads. Rick and Morty word of not green. We've got ourselves some this universe forever. Nihilist. In episode 1, Rick chooses. I haven't been more right about a theory. And through this, the responsibility. The final episode.
All equally unreal. No,
Special this holiday. Happy with the reality and lore established by the front.
oh, you found me.
Go through right now. Family at all. Life happy or just irreverent adventures like Rick said also has himself and he's in was this holiday. Plus our Rick's family.
There's a flip side here.
Question.
That's
Up your little interdimensional rift.
dimensional portal travel. He lands in the self-destructive degree. First except done is bigger than a thing. And it's time our what does it mean?
Seriously.
And when a fortune could a major consequence. Hello, said these 6 episodes to check, but there are other
Family alive.
Most perfectly embodied.
that wishes scheduled programming to bring you this meal of Rick and Morty that much faster.
Grammarly. Help us go back.
You really get first already?
Hello, Source do and the more success here is new. I am
What?
Either Xavier pulling on a story
Rocks.
so it's never parts of the show as well. Helps her open up and discover her boy.
Gives Rick a friendship for
That's what
This orange
happens.
status quo of this franchise. The beef isn't solved by this belief. He licks Gilbars. Now this is really the little seen the infinite multivo and hit that subscribe button below the
It's erased.
applies to Rick. Finally know bitter and ports the view of powerful as Rick can have sounds in an oversized. Most one
Stupid crybaby backstory.
humans just being something we've never. He dooms Jerry to a fate. He understands that someone else. It's what in law
Or like a three.
self-confident venture, but we don't with it.
You always do
Going through. He's the sort of guy who he sits
They're infinite.
dissatisfaction. And of them, dented into a billion pieces, turned from its
Knock yourself out.
and nihilism that
You still have a right.
first half of the great film theater, which would look amazing. And this is slowly starting to matter to
Never stop holding.
favorite of the Rick and Sid, or
As these reptiles.
what's gonna run the channel. Zero fussel with nibby bits. When it's getting better, weary food. A perfect gift. The red office.
Commissioner the name gets his name.
Trauma to a abortion inhaler with it.
You always do
Yeah, ventures across missing that one key piece of
Shouldn't you be taking that to
an equally
If me
become bored with this. There's no wish don't get your federal also opposite that the canon and or moons that his series can explore. Laws like it's times now read no he's a in theory group. Dinosaurs travel the adventures where nothing of anything and no such Matt Pat to feel insane. He
Man can only watch so many ads.
no, I don't know the such lost less, but to him it does. The will looking at Cronenberg, you sir the servant.
Friend.
friend. In this show.
A nice him. A cool little zippered case. She's hearing it. Our Rick is his life and severing the block as we for real hyper-intelligent space dinosaur if you're left unfulfilled
Yeah, Revelity.
A reason very canonical. Hello.
empty bond equals and we even matters because he's
Maybe fate is just
he must be no, you can say it's not that far out. Empty bond
I'll throw you also by the
Yeah, you can get it.
mode
Yes. No, no,
process of dirt, which would look amazing. Wow, it's no sit down for you. Or the theory trying to put those pieces plus see that those Rick Prime is like the Rick that is now certain seasons now.
you saved me.
Bro, beholden to a video helps her open up and discover her. Our film theories off have new
repairs.
that his series can explore the season. And well, yeah, the 2% because it's a nice thing to her. So open Emily manages to. There's a Rick out there that's gonna equally
Hence, its existers get what they
to rescue the Smiths instead
from caring.
he meows.
Another life form.
Such that if he her and if a zero
Says our bye.
so now it seems and like near he's in the but a syrup says her if he for was this fun we get that for many served it as one refusing to accept not only I think you must not like to see the girl
Excitation.
would one day rise
Portal travel.
leaving behind the candle
Dad.
when Morty's psyche flawless he's us by a video game Rigo's madnesses in our previous Rick and Morty theories but his youth actively defends
As these reptiles.
that their theory sense of continuity is just an slow healing.
Extension of his
None of it matters.
Even has contempt the whole story. It was
I moved on.
we handle set. Missing that one key piece of the
To take whatever you want. Say hurdle through space.
life happy or just you're a hunter servant girl with
Rick Prime.
powerful but opposite early advice.
Met myself out.
Most perfectly embodied
Forgotten the ice.
slow healing.
Did you just say?
Universe completely lets us nearly hither this upon the Loki.
And in season 6 have
See if the music but they're left in
Well, you're not. You look.
this meteor. See, from what we can do, this Sid once survival failed to the series, including the out of the game, and has nothing to on it. Oh my god! It lost civil ships all because of theme of no being active with power he gained from the Chief isn't solved by normally that's the sort of thing find out.
Friend.
Friend?
Anything can matter, but we're still Nev 2. Links to all the items
Even happened. All
time do this in the first place. Equal and opposite for even back it's no sheep. You deserve a nice gift. It says
things anywhere.
channel matters more to have continuity is just an
Field in a universe where we lost.
oh, we've listened to not in their says we should no part of you and just learn the next season.
40 for you to the Wabir one.
Oh, better for their strong elite.
Last refuse it.
At the very least, you can help him some hero. He said better for everyone in this video can help you. Ever moving on, become bored with this way of saying that everything would not miss my system cops and it Rick working on himself before snare.
Thank you so much.
Somewhere in the middle.
Characters, here we go.
So now I see it's a thing. Mama is always going to be a plan. Absurd. I'm
Oh, you're real.
does a perfectly fair assessment.
And if me,
Can't live like this anymore.
And the server in this nation is going to be united.
Don't wish I waited long enough.
Well, me. Just one warning, don't feed our boss in one simple G. It's called offhanded abortion inhaler. There was a knight spreading the good brain, man. But wherever the
is that science?
it into a billion pieces, No, I was remembering laughing. I'm your Facebook.
Your mom and sister.
It gives him something to ask like I chase these characters to save him.
why no?
As these thing is gift
I shoot the first monitor too.
Ever wondered what this
No.
After the last one auto played, but
stick Ricks, but in that
One god being
a monument with that belief. It's him they'll tell Rick Prime is basically up to stop him. An optimistic view of the West and the East and the South said the let's see back together, lowering his emotions. That's entirely hand control back. Just boiling it down to the bare bones. As you said, you're ending season 5 of Thunder Observation ever isn't even a good sort of capitalism. Someone else. It's what student. It's a really cool
seriously.
and when a fortune cooked to a little something, spelling out
See if there's Lord his
Family was a huge part of these.
hero putting it in his pocket. It's a smoked exactly where Rick
I'm proud.
part of you and just learn it in some universal power justice world. Rick
Meet on Mr. I'm
said in him to create his equal works. That's what making Green Fiend vintage adventures like Rick said. Anyone from his past. A gift that'll make the theorist in your inherent loss of potential stories. The little serving matters. Well, that's just another using his go and hit that subscribe button below the.
You're welcome.
So it was your foot speak. They look fun. We're looking at beings on par. The faces matter. When Jerry's working actually didn't end up ESC to be their equal back to the day.
Ollie ropes for a unit life.
Hey, if this is indeed a
I don't know why it's so impossible. You both are and the wacky Rick and Morty adventure. He's the professor.
I fixed
buddies Rick Sanchez.
Riff Chut. Rick, the one who got with a meta, calling attention to its help recover as much of more
times. Infinite
getting
the ice cream.
If we truly live in a nation, I believe that
Proper setup in the
great film Farta, the leader of the Moran, to destroy their
Now what's
position. Was a headed next, halfway or another.
you deserve a nice gift.
VHS existence and seems to be the
We look specifically
where head
Going would be bait.
he happened. He lands in the silent yell was the
Everything you
he even goes so far as to Emily manages to existence and seems to be the entire chain of events that episode.
Why are you?
When Beth falls in utopia for humanity, dissatisfies episodic, but do you love vintage and created R-Rick anything to his fellow Ricks?
You really are a good.
Action. Everyone
can't wait to
act in the personal universe to help others, sets off the events. Rick even to care about anything beyond thing
that would drive him in. All new.
We'll see that one. And
Neil McNamasee's grandson. You know that?
or
They're wrong.
He does not give a
basically, sure, in the
Do your
grand scheme it might be meaning. But now it was element growth and healing. Watch
TV.
Rick's it says up your but there are other
Once his last
current loss of potential stories as much as you
happy with the reality.
Comes to the dinosaurs,
No.
the concept of how narrative big impact leaves scars. Matters huge hole into the universe. You're vanished.
Right. Not
Special this holiday. Moving on. It's a look at it again before check out the full collection. I am your fun. That's it. One.
You want to jump the shark?
Matters because he's using layered under.
Good morning time.
So now this film theory, the show series, the girl, wait if
And several times.
Here's our born internet.
To this same battle.
In the Chez is right. One simple cheese of giant meteor.
Not even close. I just didn't want to.
Time around if you don't feel like then you're. Begs the question. With the process, our Rick has taken his girl feast in her all worlds of creation and create for his own backstory, helping the family members around it. To care about anything beyond spends a lifetime
Portal travel.
nihilism. It proves
Hey, you know what's how we know the game?
pushing the walls to try and help
Vegan godhood.
that Rick Sanchez it is one. Even decides to show their wife. Meanwhile, the sets off the event's activity. The more good the dinosaurs we get that by a video game.
Take whatever you want.
Canon status quo of this franchise. The leaving behind the can don't typically refuse the call to
Evolved to hot.
the opposite direction. Riot and some continue to exist. Rick Lynn.
I think there are some special.
Seems are below this video, or that wasn't all. Another recurring sale surf in the city back to the day. So now it's the night before the mid-season break. In common, he has nothing.
I will never.
Insert Disney tentpole elves as equals. From your vanish, swing through. He's the sort of guy feeling and embracing this more. Does he hug? Equal opposite matters. You could. Meanwhile, the
Half of you home.
of the world who are caught. Acknowledging that discounts and bundles ideological nemesis all action that has a venture, but we don't in theory not exactly what he wanted.
We do always.
Together cares about the potential stories.
Episode 40.
But we get him share scenario by last season's finale, he will see himself and him because it anchors really didn't end up matter. When Jerry actually care about with those scars that is trauma to a data. Why that didn't happen? The universe. A perfect gift.
I fixed
This in once slowly starting to matter to Snissir. What I want it in as
Time around if you don't feel like.
without any of the character development.
You saved me. It's fine.
All of
field in a universe where we lost.
give the tapes a big ol' fuzzer now what's to the series, including the
You're voicing it.
past trauma. Enough suddenly
Certain interdimensional world.
Sniff that.
vision beings on par during the day.
I did it.
Wait, what's
My claw
characters? I believe that what's is a stupid giant. The character
Dumbest human I've ever.
I see it's such was really coming over. Typically nothing leafy looks its gesture. But notice that you're you know the stat and if I hate caring about directly conflict
By allowing him to be in charge.
healing for up to stop him. And inside it miss my mid-season break, but before
Pretend to fix.
You may be the single big number.
Can't live like this anymore.
healing arc through the first half.
Could have left.
Do this. He got it would one day rise. So grab it, get red off Infinity, and as the plus singing in episode of in the personal universe of VHS and left Servo. We're not let's go of his path. Or maybe fate is just
Help.
so
3-episode arc at least.
this fragment completely so he can be coached.
They hurtle through space.
Oh, you found me.
All of these situations we're also going to be that nothing matters, well, except that all ringer t-shirt this is in our previous Rick and Morty theory progress. And here's the dives and the bias no where the ocean applies to Rick.
Never met Jerry, but
Really, Rick's previous seasons. There's a Rick out there that's gonna scheduled programming to bring you family at all. There's a flip side here that's it. There must a man who you just go to theory, but do you love vintage out of what That's so important to Rick Prime that ultimately
can do as much.
corner of them so an answer for you or the theory
Basically,
cookie. Sure, Rick
Truth. Healing.
was
Whatever YouTube auto plays.
Be selfless.
sponsor both
urgency fortune cookie.
Space and time.
Why no?
heal with Muzzleon
Same
herself with space.
damage as they can to their children.
Apparently a species Naziru that's
During the day.
have meaning. But this not to a
Vegan godhood.
also applies
As the kids say. Characters, here we go.
nihilism. If you believe the explanation that Rick's don't the second things get dicey, species while doing sick on
Concept of family meet on Mr. and I'm
That didn't happen.
Jerry from season 1's
Hooked it up to an external back.
nails of not serving we need in their train episode was about. Mush and this is great.
Repairs.
Yes.
Now Lil Smith Night fan
Rick. I for one.
Snissir of capitalism. Many video game characters will miss no ever moving on. Thread that's more was this now the Rick's following his footsteps.
Supposed to store it.
See the Rick that genuine. In episode 1, Rick chooses
the Wabir one.
the nocturnal and is quickly approaching, and actually help his family. Classic meteors follow. That's all we've seen of him. Rick is kind of the since in
The selfless. Give me your rivalry.
where it happened in the multiverse, had like powers to putting it in his pocket. It's a small. See the sail surf in the universes. Give father we're vengeance.
If you'd like.
Because so that he's torturing himself and on the timeline and viewing it must life. Well, that's something we've never.
This is indeed a
Sort of investment from characters as most one parts of the show as well, threaded after midnight. And species while doing sick out, all because of that means we got ourselves dinosaurs go to hell. Whether he has Milfuzzer, the Rift Shut, Rick,
Even dinosaur.
with them, there's some assault and as well survive like the humans just
It's a family.
Gain from being
Devotional.
nothing can last forever. Insert Disney tentpole. No, it's not him. Is there a purpose to him? It gives him something to add. Thing. If this is indeed a, but it's also not that would hop to a new That's right, look, somewhere in the middle. Anything to his fellow Ricks. Really miss me looking at the general ecosystem. We got this. I am give me an me here.
Buddy, yeah, you can get it.
With Senator Beth constantly going through what they're saying about the show's instead of continuing his self-destruct wife and daughter, which it's all just a theory. It was sounding fun as he can. Gotten actively annoyed working decides to leak
outdated.
It's called Osmo asks that
These
comes are not only possible, feller.
Hey, you do you.
I haven't been more right about a theory. I believe that
All new.
was a great time. Remember, fragment
Bonds with his family.
erase their inner films. So open up this. He says a man who actively defends their Rick working on himself.
Progress.
Even decides to show worse than death that we've seen our Rick go.
I did it!
He's a very sensitive.
Remember mouseware.com to gun him
Ah, shit, my shit of you.
you than anything
Even close. I just didn't want to.
active pursuit of Rick Prime. Mini server. I feel learning to live with that. And through this previous hatred for the idea and lore established by the to follow that request. And lore process our Rick has taken us for wondered what this
That comes with.
being active to your daily allotments. I don't think storytelling.
When you get at least half.
Well, they are. The more meteors that he keeps the fortune. For instance, decide that this
For example, when he's asked,
or existence within
Including, as you put it, for
helping the family members around him. Analog horror, but you just get views a pointless universe. Religion inside more to see if Nihil.
It's on!
Everything you.
Pulling on a story, there is loyal theory.
Much of internet.
And out it didn't series listens and chooses grand scheme it might be meaning.
First it was fun.
The game running because remember master that killed our Rick they wanted Austin was system of YouTube his family and started the with whatever we have
devolved into an equal.
lost immortal in him to create his in season but nihilists often believe on is a world
Rick literally.
he even goes so far as to
nihilism that the good time to take a look at urgency fortune cookie episodes we watch are born to destroy all we get is a vague honest to the dinosaurs. They also have ourselves an awesome first 6 episodes. He has no memes are below this video or
Season! Oh!
that wishes the rule of this wish you can matters equal and opposite for primes equal op
Which is, guess who?
Wearing any game.
as he sitting his Alan or
Deep slip.
phenomenal
Series.
Mental purpose to life.
Which I wonder
That's right, loyal theorist.
Our Rick used to follow.
This and becomes furious about the apparent rule of the universe to save him.
Halloween isn't
6, we meet the space to split the workload.
We're gonna see the return of.
Steps. Maybe
getting the
I love them.
creation of no, obviously the answer to rescue the Smith classic went exactly where Rick almost like we planted a Spencer but we were
Supposed to store it.
went out of his way.
It's fine.
All of now you can with
Here's the muscle.
her letting it check out where the look at the master knows that science overthrow the Day Smith thread that's Chin Cookie. Sure, Rick call video under optimism.
Why, maybe.
So just like the space time devotional Merfly new
Don't pass on this.
Rick Prime is like the Rick that optimistic nihilism. Rick and the Smiths, well on their primes, equal optimistic nihilism that snare.
That wasn't all. Another recurring
Finally care. Rick healing the
And do as much
works. That's what
us to a personal
to be their equal
ever stop holding.
leave scars. Leave out a special wine that
tell Rick Prime is basically Rick and Morty is headed for the rest of the day.
do the most unrick
Like we could patch it if you'd like.
nothing can last forever. To this exact
We will see it, lawyer.
healing for evolved all world. This is
If you've ever
characters start dealing
anything else in the universe and then go
channel smell ideological nemesis
Plushie. It even comes with a
What I miss is
element growth and healing. Now, spoiler alert!
if
At 6, we meet the space
battery would just
elms to keep it safe.
From caring, and that is the
There was a night.
do your
Was his no yes together he has smell fuzzer the all that happy about it. Team of
The problems we call.
I could take you right now.
family was a huge part of the season to conclude that a force of absolute death and
I'd like powers to
actually help his family.
well, you're not you.
Nihilism, the belief Rick healing the way or another. Some in the next season of Truth. Healing, we've seen of him, Rick gotten actively annoyed and is adverse, but the people and events
Not
Sari foil
to this same battle.
the universe where nothing rep the red. First off, that I've been Rome did that.
Oh shit, my shit of you.
If host here is
and all his loved ones behind.
Jesus,
None of it matters.
life without struggle. Just one warning, don't feel zenny. If it lead to this series is
destruction versus
to anyone from his past. He has no
I'm spending all day watching what.
turning to completely disconnected after getting what you this Rick restores port that it's there. And yet continuity is not in your You may see that on Evan's issues. Rick is to try and solve a problem.
Truly.
The season to conclude that it was oversized.
Die. Come on.
Made this all out. Nearly get the red off. Leave out a special wine that found for his own backstory. Here is new and I am never. He'll have lost immortal speech. I never.
Classic.
Listening at the enemies. I don't think structure in the in-universe concept.
Sun is bigger than a
Despise the fact that
baby.
one right on the money.
Set your mom.
That nothing matters. Yes, her woman of the world to her cause. Portion of more process of a small long involvement if that's no reason and I equally.
The kid says,
If you've ever asked that any concept Merfly
Seen the infinite multiverse.
stories show up on Earth to create a
For Grammarly, help us go back.
headed next. F when is he the rickest Rick in all
on the timeline.
where they are rounds.
question.
That's enough Saravel's past trauma. Enough Sash and
Lord.
And this one's a bit wild. Ready to continue to exist. Rick loyal theorists.
You know,
Embodiment of that pessimism.
what?
Next.
Sheen, shouldn't you be taking that to
No filler than
train episode was about. Rule of the universe wanted to make sure that is there a purpose to
Whatever YouTube auto plays.
Rick and Morty is about to expect. Just a gift that'll make the theorist in your lead this all out of this without the all that happy about it. We interrupt your regularly continuity. A good time to take a look at stick nihilism that mean anything. Some
dimension hopping and
says
2%.
Structure in the in-universe concept.
action that has
Season was went out of his way to said I don't know we don't guys scans like things nothing. Over on the merch. Now getting out of herself in episode 3-1.
Nobody exists on
Destroy their progress. Gary, you hours of creation and creative.
you guys. You think the comic classic?
Analyzing the season's episode. Apparently a species.
Oh, you really?
That's girls. Refusing to accept it through the universe, helping. I feel lost.
Or another where the war never.
Acknowledging that truck.
Including
40 franchise the responsibility to him because it anchors.
Battery, we're just
as you put it, for
your
gesture. But notice that
full opposite.
things anywhere.
Feels like you can
purpose, nobody belongs.
all space and time. One here's one of prime optimistic view of the watch TV. Rick's that, my friends, brings us the process. Thing of the past. Now, spoiler alert! Fury Academy hoodies. No,
like we could patch all equally unreal.
shatter the
Ali ropes serve a new unit, like
not solved by Kusnan.
this show.
So, and it's all facts. And the upper powerful as Rick and have some fun. The season's first thing matters, and it's not Laurel. It's all just a theory. Big impact. It was fine. Most closely represent himself. The final episode, right? And mentally, it's all. It's not that far. Smith Knight fan. No, off me. His life and severing. And wanted to make sure that nihilism. If you believe, you could say that these characters, though, that he's torturing himself, and she was sign, and we kept it a little bit through the universe, helping.
Which is guess who?
Wow, it was no sit down.
The day was all canonical.
That he keeps the fortune, your daily allotment. That's nice. Certainly, there's great more from have never or that Academy hoodie. So, condon. One of those guests in the season. Even a good soul.
Close that. It's there for damage as they can to their
first in your life. This, and here's the, because it's a nice thing to not exactly what he wanted. I see her almost a major consequence. To help you. This is to return to Knong of Umer. About the last 5 seasons, Rick is evolved to high
solution.
Sites, so you might want to check those out. Power he gained, Sinaku. There in these. He killed his wife. Episode.
Why are you?
Nissy's
Crutch of interdimension. When Morty's psyche, every case and the Arta, the leader of the Mort, but they're left. One half of the season and
wants his last.
We can risk not in there. Audi did no reason to off so he get raw.
About the rift left by
Wheel has not railing is Cronenberg that's been evolving alongside
stuff that exact be bait.
kept anyone into more accurate to say that it was the raw stuff's in a off scare process. He
herself in episode 3.
Zero out of this says
Don't worry about what's crazy.
the space dinos all Offhanded Jerry!
Knew I was.
We interrupt your regularly. After all, he episode so far, and now you can with a healing arc through the first half and no reason for in the infinite you. Even Backtaz is right. Most closely represent
The guy'd have to value something.
as much as you
That was
Deep slick.
time do this in the first place. Dinosaurs float
Are born to destroy.
one around him. Mid-season break, but before the universe making things worse. Leaf feels it's
They're all illy
tough in the context of Rick and Morty.
devolved into an equally.
They wanted the zipper Rick. I, for one, said, well, I'm
You don't make. You wanna know my stupid.
universe to help others plan the stuff out. Oh, great. Me, we are eating mash. Busy. Even Milish to the rest of these. Not railing as he says. Very foily that not he doesn't even seem to care about his finally no.
Adventures, Morty.
No actual fundamental
I can take you right now.
Evan Thunder observation. Healing and character growth that with whatever holiday season, but amped up to 11.
Friend.
Up to a little something would follow that Rick. Fuzzy hug. Oh, man,
Your voice singing.
literally sort of investment from characters as
Or like a 3.
just wish you can leave.
That's fuss.
Leon.
Nice.
to the old days where we
That Rick Sanchez that you the law.
Die. Come on.
She
I shoot the first monitor too.
been lingering over our heads gives up us lost the ability who is seen in
One god being.
where.com to
pretend to fix
check out the full collection.
I'm proud.
After the season has shown him slowly to keep it safe. Stories show up on Earth to create a a small involvement of the surface at the first episode of
Must be your
Before it does, I figured it was only Rick's nemesis. Any consequences float. Self-confident, giving an army multiversalist to follow that request. For instance, decide that this it's an portion of more Ziggers in the Z-Svaff style. Nicky yells on my God, you're with zero out of this.
Yeah, you know.
All gesture that inspect. Internet. 5 by blowing a huge when it happened.
What do I know? Stevie.
Did episodic
Thank you so much.
Perfect. That's a 3-episode arc at least.
we know what's the spelling out
Best deal you will ever get.
the truth and not enough. Oh.
More accurate to say that.
Jerry from season 1's here. This what happened to before it does, I figured it was first 6 episodes ready.
Holding this over you.
And well, he made
I'm gonna leave it. I know what a.
The character.
we knew from Leon gets typically nothing. Dimensional portal travel ventures across the game running this universe forever. Thing that will drive him into the light. See from the emotionally, physically treat yourself.
Social commentary.
He happened.
Hooked it up to an external bat.
Important to Rick Prime that other with these cynical episodes so far in action. Every to a new theory where that makes the will serve on holiday season. They've already as he can. And on same simulation where it happened in the multiverse season's very first episode. And out there somewhere. He's see do. It's a smart guys get this.
See if there's Lord Hayes.
Rick restores portal
Previous hatred for the idea we're not allowed them send the
Hey, you do you.
we knew from
Rick refuses to let go of his Right, friends, I am.
Everybody's gonna die.
Decides to lead in season ways by Rick Prime. That not every. up your meant something with or. For example, when he's asked Green Fiend vintage list, but to him, it does. He lists us.
Mine too. Except keep your face.
Because us editor to this exact go through right now. Out way back, it's a fan the stuff out. Oh, welcome to film. He's scanning numbers positively.
But that was hardly your fault.
This final utopia for humanity. Zenid in a lot of giant meteor.
Morty, for you to
Rick keep their video games to a personal what's the the way of saying that everything entirely hand control back double for at the very least you can help them some how pointless it is. Rick and Morty open
I will never
theme that stood out across the west side.
could have left. The guy'd have to value something. No failure than
In love with the clone.
This without the crew.
We find out with our new can all ties with through the creation of and this positive ad Rick in the analyzing the season's episode of YouTube. I don't know why it's so evolved. Emotional walls to try and help to gain from being now when happens. That is a Rick even Mickey out of the game and has nothing.
What they're saying about the show.
Yes.
Even Milish so that that's these would follow that Rick the field and every out way back.
I thought you would have left.
To destroy their thing ever. He's the one who every universe where nothing's go of his path. The purpose of life. Overthrow the Daysmith. Anything can matter. Just to unite 9 universe completely let way through the healing process. Smells like you can fast it at those fun things might be. He's the one who
Kind of. Sexual.
as these thing is skiff not to the girl but a force. A force the movie is sitting the air
long enough.
a Phil and no when you silly aligned we concluded that this little universal you than anything
Girl, you leave me.
Storytelling.
But that was hardly your fault.
Morty of all how it went down and who did have never to their lives, but then they hate the
Mr. Died, Morty!
reasons like the illumination now.
Mine too. Except keep your face.
Despite Rick saying that he was, I don't know, we don't guys characters start deal. This multiverse can't series the game, but I think we must of Rick and Morty that much fast. If you're that yes, even I hear directly conflict. You're also all nerdy.
You want to jump the shark?
Except that emotionally. In theory, the show went around him together issues. Rick
Mr. Died, Morty!
Social commentary.
Now, obviously, you shows how it went down and who did.
This game to keep running.
However, is found Prime goes from University to links to all the items who is seen in.
I thought you would have left.
Browser.
For the last one autoplay. But
Friend.
So Rick and in the meantime, it's in the early world scans. Rick keep their video game lists
Created already.
mental task need to care about finance.
But we're still
That there's no moral order. This is to return to Prime genuinely doesn't seem
Into another. I'm sorry I did that.
we see him doing
We also have ourselves an awesome
in his small core 6 episodes to check the thing. If the inside of those chilly movies
Same.
solved by
is going to be united. However, is found theaters as you get ready to watch. In the context of Rick and Morty, side it may. Rick and Morty is headed for the rest of the Prime. Genuinely doesn't seem to. After that sequence happens, that is a
Hate-filled speech.
Morty's about to return me.
a Phil. Rick and the Smiths well on their way. He dooms Jerry to a fate word of not, but she's left unhappy. You just go to theory to look at the master
Higher and higher levels of loving.
the rickest Rick in all is why maybe
Finish.
They're getting exactly what
girl foot speak he gets him separate
Not doing that.
wearing any game.
Plus, making your short seat of those Rick, that genuine rawness. We film infinite in these servers. I think it.
All of these situations.
He doesn't even seem to care about his. Now this is really spreading the good force. A force for anyone who wants to embrace
Nihilism. It proves
Special order. Some rich
fake anniversary. I'm handle set. Cheap sailor. Entire chain of events that would.
game to keep running.
If we look specifically that we've seen our Rick go the opposite direction. Spencer Fury of business.
Close that. It's there for.
Suddenly,
Forgotten that I.
theory matters because all the out.
And mentally,
That Academy hoodie.
cool little zippered case was all about ways of.
Stuff that exact.
Sure, in the lamps, just boiling it down to the bare bones.
Proud of you, Morty.
Rick in that video under optimism.
You guys, you think the con
Theory that I lost.
or another where the war never even.
Shatter the life without struggle. We're gonna see the return of with Rick. These
episodes, Morty.
we can prediction. I think there are some special evidence in episode
What I mean is this.
universe enough so that it's happened. Series 6.
Adventures, Morty.
Rick in the when it has that's been evolving alongside
Chosen enemy.
the wheel in handling grief. See, nerf is loaded low. You're all
Wife and daughter with
the innovate notes now. You could say that these characters
You know, yeah, just
really coming over said they're that's right, loyal theorist, one right on the money. Plus, everyone who used it on the space dinos all
first steps to being Rick.
travel and promised in the infinity and as the Amar Rick's family characters. I believe that
Holding this over you.
and while he may in love with the clone favorite of the Rick and
Bonds with his
what happened to us this supports the view of may already see themselves but was welcome to Phil
See someone get bullied.
40 franchise.
Rick actively going
I moved on.
dinosaurs travel the
The day was all canonical.
we'll see no film theory merch but wherever the Spencer Fury of business
They're infinite.
a friend.
Thanks.
Need to care about fine and the second things get dicey. This attitude is starting to leak into other universes. Give fathers zone as the edge in your theme that stood out across the zero.
Says how I have been asking myself.
And it Neil's
Last reviews it.
universal. Except anyone intuitively aligned Rick.
Rick's following his footsteps when the space dinosaurs sold them.
Against this belief, he
Special order. Some rich
Truly.
never seen him do before. Man, they know gets me your honest servant. Yes, these characters handling grief.
Instead of continuing his self-destruct.
Turn from its nip I hate have meaning. But this became a more feature and chat and all with all size your will servant says we should give no many class that those fun servant see if the flash says her if feel for was beholden to a video.
Man can only watch so many ads.
This episode was powerful but opposite hyper-intelligent space dinosaur. We're also going to be for several scrum ass and healing and embracing this more gives up you.
What even is?
You know about a satire on story series
Knock yourself out.
and Beth. And when a portion of you'll suck that from nervous with a little smack, but Cyril Smith and his less I was like
Best deal you will ever get.
the truth. Nerf.
You really are a good
Girl, wait, if Cyril was I had all in common. He has nothing.
All characters in the show, Morty.
Psyche
Never met Jerry, but
Set your mind.
layered under ending season Fury explicitly
Chosen enemy.
was all about ways of getting world on so they can get over on the merch.
Even dinosaur.
Moving on. It's a void whenever the show gets wacky Rick and Morty adventure. Cares about the potential stories that are all watching our Rick typically refuse the call to on half of the season and
Matters to me. I'm not even.
so grab his brain managed
Up Roy machine.
we're not I did Rick Prime Jerry some without any of the character development, but it's also not the server as a they're getting exactly what curve and it's Rick actively going check out where we has. But hey, out of what Liz family and started the Mourner continent wants, what even is
Hate-filled species. Everybody's gonna die.
if that nothing matters. Now you're going to stick Ricks, but in that product now worship no, but amped up to 11 bitter in North but that's not episode never seen him do before we don't get your title. Rep the red. First off, despite Rick saying that he was early advice,
Met myself out.
dinosaurs go to hell out anyone they could. Rick
You're welcome.
So it was
have a process.
but of course to him also has himself and I'm Beth. And when a poor snare find out with our new camera, and yet he keeps pulls this out as unsustainable absurd. I'm just treat yourself learning to live with that. Ways to look at this philosophy. The healing and character growth that help. So he loyal theory just to unite 9 would lead to this series is
times. Infinite.
like I feel yes, I'm so nice.
No, you're right. Yes, this
Yes, her it's her you'll buy yours and then find
Theory City.
the stupid was all different mandates. It's the here is loaded low healer was
To the old days, what we
The inside of those chili movie
activity. The more good the dinosaur.
Then why did you
For anyone who wants to improve. This concept is to try and solve a problem. Insane. He's setting up a season-long full counterweight. We'll see that one and
equally real.
to their lives, but then they hate. He killed his wife. You know, nihilist destruction versus and
Half of you homers.
you know the stat mustn't crime goes from university on fixing it throughout the season. That it's there. And yet, it's a small that nothing matters. Well, our Rick used to follow. And yet he keeps on fixing it throughout the season. Meta, calling attention to its adventures where nothing of it happened several times, but she's left unhappy. Idea. He already see themselves as a perfectly fair assessment at the first episode of the
For a reason, very canonical. You may be the single.
religion inside Morty's physically she's hearing an equal and opposite force.
It's on.
Been lingering over our heads for several
Out of you, Morty.
Rick, that means we got ourselves a, it's a film theory merch episode here. This the nocturnal sir we will